Everyone gets snacky from time to time. At least I know that I do. But with so many companies making plant-based options these days, it's easy to just grab something from the store. But often those items are full of preservatives, sugars, and oils that you just don't want. So today, I'll show you how to avoid that by making some of your own snacks. Shockingly healthy cookies with a muffin formula that'll have you making endless variations. It tastes like autumn in a little comforting package. And we'll go to Nook Eats to make some treats, both sweet and savory.
We're going to make a riff on peanut butter cups.
So we're making a treat for our tongues and our bodies.
Exactly.
But first, to the kitchen. All of today's recipes are available on pbwithj.ca. One of the most consumed products that people don't even necessarily associate with being plant-based is non-dairy milk. So that's almond milk, oat milk, cashew milk, soy milk, and people spend hundreds of dollars a year buying it in the store. But I'm gonna show you how to make your own. Today, we're using oat milk, but the same process works no matter what you're using. So all you really need is a high-speed blender and a nut milk bag. So the first thing we're gonna do is put 4 cups of water into our blender, and then we're gonna add a cup of oats. Put the lid on, and then we're gonna crank it on high for 30 seconds to about a minute, just until everything's nicely combined. After that, we're gonna pour it into the nut milk bag and capture it inside a large container. It's a bit messy, so you're gonna want as big a container as possible. And this is where you see why it's still called milk, because you literally have to milk the bag just to squeeze all that wonderful goodness out. So the cleanup for this is, a bit of a thing with a nut milk bag, but I know some people will also use the refuge inside of here to make cookies and other things. Why buy it at the store when you can milk it at home? So this amount fits into a large mason jar, and there you have it. Now you've got oat milk. So this stores at least 4 to 5 days inside the fridge. You're gonna notice that it'll separate. All you have to do is give it a good shake, and then it's ready to use. Non-dairy, plant-based milk. If you have a little extra time and the right tools, there's no reason why you need to buy it at the store. And now we're off to Nook Vibrant Kitchen in Galt, Ontario.
My name's Maddie, the owner of Nook. We are a plant-based meal delivery service. My sister has been tackling a pretty intense health issue for the majority of her life. Modern medicine couldn't fix it. It wasn't until we figured out what food could do for your body when she actually started getting better. So when I finished school, I decided to just open up a little juice shop. My first company was called Juice Company. We make cold pressed juice.
This is fresh out of the machine.
Yes.
I don't have the words. My brain's just gobbled up in veggie goodness.
Yeah.
A little juice shop turned into, let's make some smoothies, and then, then let's make some salads, and then rebranded to Nook.
Nook is a plant-based meal delivery service that covers the area between Ajax, Aurora, and Hamilton. And Maddie loves educating her customers on what's in their food.
The majority of my label is telling them something interesting about the majority of the ingredient. That's my thing. I want to make comfort food that's like unbelievably healthy for you. You don't think that it's healthy for you, you just think that it's good.
And speaking of good food, Maddie has promised to make me a snack.
We're going to make a riff on peanut butter cups.
I'm in.
But the best part about these is that we are going to use turkey tail mushrooms. Essentially balance out your hormones in your body. So it just looks like that. And it's actually a pretty mild flavor. What I really like about them is that you can hide them into things like a peanut butter cup.
So we're making a treat for our tongues and our bodies.
Exactly. And also, we're not using peanuts. We're using pumpkin seeds. We're also gonna add an avocado to it. Healthy fats, good fiber, great texture.
Making a mess.
That's okay.
So we're just gonna add the coconut oil because it needs a little love.
We're gonna start with like 1 tablespoon. This is also amazing because you can make this beforehand and then you put it into a jar and then you have pumpkin seed butter. All right, I think we're happy there. Let's add both these avocados into the blender. Let's add half of the pumpkin seed butter that you just made.
Ready?
Yep. So the fat from the avocado is going to make it more of that filling that we're looking for.
Creamier.
Exactly, much creamier. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Oh no, I got some on my hands.
It's so good.
All right, so now we're happy.
Yep. This is the best part about plant-based food. The ingredients, they're so good for you, and then you get to make treats out of them. Put this over here, and we're gonna make the chocolate base. So this is just a very, very simple vegan dark chocolate.
And do you mix it with a little bit of coconut oil?
Yes. Coconut oil gives chocolate that like shell-like texture.
Just enough to it.
Just enough to cover the bottom. Now that we have the first base, we're gonna go pop this in the freezer. We're now taking our very funny green sludge that we made, and now we add the mushrooms to it. So we're just gonna mix it around, and we're just gonna let it sit until our chocolate is frozen, and then we're gonna make little discs out of it. So now simply we scoop out the middle.
And then just smooth it out.
I like going all the way to the edge because I like seeing the
Like a
layers.
sandwich.
Exactly.
So these are set now.
Pry it open.
That one, look at this. Who likes the filling? So now I guess we have to try them, right?
Now we have to try them. Let's try this one.
Doink.
Cheers. They're so good.
That's the sound of happiness.
That's what I mean. You still get a treat that feels so decadent, yet it has all of these things in it.
And the mushrooms are in here too, I just remembered that. It's so satisfying, and this is a school-safe snack because, you know, pumpkin seeds. So good, thank you.
It's good.
I could munch on Maddie's creations all day long, but it's time to get back to my kitchen to show you how to make some more plant-based snacks. In my other life as a filmmaker, I'm often going from meeting to meeting, or I'm on set, or I'm in prep, and sometimes I'm never quite sure when my next meal is gonna be. So I always have some of these breakfast cookies in my bag for a really quick snack that'll also fill me up and just tastes amazing. So we're gonna take a really, really ripe banana, and we're gonna plop that in, and we're gonna give it a little mushy mash. So to that, we're gonna add maple syrup. It's about a 1/4 cup, a 1/2 cup of natural peanut butter. You could also use almond butter here if you prefer. If you're making a nut-free version, a sun butter would work as well. You could also get away with tahini. We're just gonna mix that up. It's okay if you get a couple little banana lumps in there, but try your best to smooth it all out. Next, what we've got here is almond flour. You could grind up sunflower seeds and use these instead if you have a nut allergy. We're gonna plop those in. A teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 cup of flaxseed, a cup and about 1/4 of rolled oats, a cup of grated zucchini. You could also use carrot if you don't have any zucchini or you just want to try something different. All right, once you start to see everything nicely mixed, we're gonna add our last couple of mix-ins. I like to have some kind of a nut or a seed. So today I'm using pecans. I like a dried fruit. I got cranberries here. You could use raisins, currants, goji berries. And then this is optional. If you want it to be healthier, leave these out, but I'm putting in some chocolate chips. And then we're just gonna stir it up. Nothing is worse than getting a cookie with no chocolate chips on it. So now we're gonna put these onto our pans. I tend to use a 1/3 cup measure. I tend to put 4 or 5 cookies on each sheet. This tends to make between 9 and 10. I just wet my hands and I just kind of press them down into some kind of a disc shape. They won't really spread out that much on the pan, but they make a big cookie. So you just wanna give them some room to move around, you know? We're gonna put this into an oven at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven. And then we're gonna rotate the pans halfway through the bake just to make sure that there's an even crispness on all the cookies. There are the breakfast cookies. These are just a great snack to have on you at any time where you just need a quick pick-me-up, or if you're gonna skip a meal, 1 or 2 of these will do wonders for you. These store really, really well in the freezer. Otherwise, they'll keep on the counter for 4 to 5 days. Oh my God, yeah! I love me a muffin. The problem with most muffins that you buy outside of your home is that they're more of a dessert than they are a snack because they're loaded with oil and processed sugar. We avoid that by using applesauce instead of oil and then bananas instead of sugar. These are also naturally gluten-free because I'm using oat flour. If you don't have any oat flour on hand, but you have a blender and oats, you can make your own in about 30 seconds in a high-speed blender. If you don't want to make these gluten-free, you can easily just swap this out with flour. We're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients. So we've got 2 cups of oat flour in here. Then we've got flaxseed, baking soda, baking powder, and cinnamon. So now we've got our dry ingredients. We're gonna mix them together until they're well combined. Now we got 4 very ripe bananas in here. We're gonna mix them up in the food processor until they're just nice and mashy. Great. Now we're gonna add in about a half a cup of fruit juice. Whatever you got on hand works. This is an apple pomegranate mix, some applesauce. I'm not just putting the applesauce in because it's an apple muffin. I'm putting it in place of oil. A half a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a capful of vanilla. We're gonna puree that until it's all mixed together. We're gonna pour our wet mixture into our dry mixture and mix it up just enough so that it's combined. Now we're gonna add our mix-ins. 2 cups of apples, you can use any kind of fruit you want, and a half a cup of raisins. You could add nuts, dried fruit, chocolate chips, anything you want in there. And now we'll just stir it together until everything is evenly incorporated. Now we're just gonna scoop it into our muffin molds. I like to use an ice cream scoop. Just keep on filling them until you've got about the same amount in every single pan. I'm gonna bake these at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes. If you're baking yours in a silicone muffin pan too, the trick is to let them rest for 10 to 15 minutes and then pop them out gently and let them rest upside down. They'll firm up much better that way. They're soft and moist. It tastes like autumn in a little comforting package. You can customize these muffins to whatever flavors you want. Use seasonal fruit, frozen fruit's fine too. Nuts, dried fruit, chocolate, whatever you want. Muffins. If you like to snack, hopefully I've given you some sweet and savory options that will keep you going between meals. For these recipes and more, go to pbwithj.ca.